June 5th, 2013, Hong Kong, a hotel room. A 29-year-old man sits in front of a laptop. His hands are shaking. He's about to release documents that would change the world forever. Documents that prove your government is watching you, reading your emails, listening to your calls, tracking your every move. His name is Edward Snowden, and what he revealed, they never wanted you to know. This is his story, the complete story. Stay with me.
My name is not important. What's important is the truth. For the past months, I've been investigating the Snowden files, reading documents, interviewing experts, connecting dots. What I found shocked me. Not just what the government did, but how they did it, how long they did it, and how they lied about it. Edward Snowden gave up everything, his career, his country, his freedom. Why? Because he discovered something massive, something that affects every single person watching this video right now. Your phone? They can access it. Your computer? They can see it. Your private messages? They can read them. Your location? They know it. This isn't conspiracy theory. This is documented fact, proven by leaked documents from the NSA itself. Today, I'm going to take you through the complete story. Who Edward Snowden really is, what he discovered, how the system works, and what it means for you. This is an investigation, a real investigation, into one of the biggest surveillance operations in human history. Let's begin. Part 1. Who is Edward Snowden? Edward Joseph Snowden was born June 21, 1983 in North Carolina. Normal family, middle class. His father worked for the Coast Guard, his mother worked for the federal court. Nothing about young Edward suggested he'd become the most wanted man in America. But Edward was different. He was brilliant with computers, really brilliant. He didn't finish high school, dropped out, got his GED instead, then started working in tech. His path to the NSA. In 2006, Snowden joined the CIA, Central Intelligence Agency. He worked in IT security. This means he protected the CIA's computer systems. Think about that. A 23-year-old protecting America's most secret information. He was stationed in Geneva, Switzerland, living abroad, working undercover, learning how intelligence agencies operate. But something bothered him. He saw things, programs, operations, things that made him uncomfortable. In 2009, Snowden left the CIA. He joined a private contractor called Dell, but he still worked for the NSA, National Security Agency. The NSA is different from the CIA. The CIA has spies. The NSA has data, massive amounts of data, about everyone. Snowden's job? Managing that data, protecting it. He had top-level security clearance. He could see almost everything. The moment everything changed. Snowden later said there wasn't one moment. It was gradual. Day by day, he discovered new programs, new systems, new ways the government was collecting information. He saw they were collecting phone records, every call, every American, millions of people. He saw they were reading emails, intercepting messages, breaking encryption. He saw they were working with tech companies, Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Apple, getting access to user data. And here's what really troubled him. Most of it was happening without warrants, without court approval, without oversight. This violated the Fourth Amendment, the constitutional right against unreasonable search. The decision. Snowden faced an impossible choice. Option 1, stay quiet, keep his job, keep his life, pretend he saw nothing. Option 2, speak out, lose everything, maybe go to prison forever, but tell the truth. He chose truth. But he was smart about it. He didn't just leak everything randomly. He contacted journalists, specific journalists he could trust. Glenn Greenwald, an American journalist living in Brazil, known for civil liberties work. Laura Potras, a documentary filmmaker. She'd made films about surveillance before. Ewan McAskill, a veteran reporter for The Guardian newspaper. He gave them thousands of classified documents, but with one condition: they had to review everything carefully, publish responsibly, redact names that could endanger people. He didn't want to hurt anyone, he wanted to inform everyone. In May 2013, Snowden flew to Hong Kong. He checked into a hotel, the Mira Hotel, room 1014, and he waited.
Part 2. What the Files Revealed. On June 5, 2013, The Guardian published the first story. The headline was simple but shocking. NSA collecting phone records of millions of Verizon customers daily. This was just the beginning. Over the following weeks, more documents were released, each one more disturbing than the last. Let me walk you through what we learned, what they don't teach in schools, what the government still doesn't want you to fully understand. Program 1. PRISM. This was the big one. PRISM allowed the NSA to collect data directly from tech companies. Which companies? Almost all of them. Microsoft, Yahoo, Google, Facebook, YouTube, Skype, Apple, AOL. The NSA could access your emails, your photos, your videos, your chat logs, your stored files, your search history. The companies claimed they didn't know. They said they only gave information when legally required. But the documents told a different story. The documents showed active cooperation, direct access to servers. When these companies say your data is private, well, now you know. Program 2. Upstream Collection. This one is even scarier. The NSA didn't just get data from companies, they intercepted it directly from the internet itself. How? They tapped into the physical cables, the fiber optic cables that carry internet traffic around the world. Imagine the internet as water flowing through pipes. The NSA put taps on those pipes. They could see everything flowing through. Every email sent internationally, every video call across borders, every file downloaded from another country. Billions of communications every single day. Program 3. Boundless Informant. This was a tool the NSA used to count and categorize all the data they collected. The documents showed the NSA collected information from 97 billion pieces of intelligence from computer networks worldwide in March 2013 alone. 3 billion pieces of data from U.S. computer networks in the same month. When NSA Director Keith Alexander was asked by Congress, "Does the NSA collect any type of data on millions of Americans?" he said no. Boundless Informant proved this was false. Program 4. X-Key Score. This is the scariest one, in my opinion. X-Key Score is a search engine, but not like Google. It's a search engine for private information. An NSA analyst could type in your email address, or your name, or your IP address, and see every website you visited, every search you made, every email you sent, every chat you had, every file you downloaded. Without a warrant, without approval, just search and see. Snowden himself said, "I, sitting at my desk, could wiretap anyone, from you to your accountant, a federal judge, even the president, if I had a personal email." Think about that power. One person, complete access to anyone's digital life. International spying. The documents also revealed the U.S. was spying on allies, friendly countries. They tapped German Chancellor Angela Merkel's personal phone for years. They monitored 35 world leaders. They spied on the United Nations. They intercepted communications from the European Union headquarters. When confronted, U.S. officials said, "Everyone spies." May be true, but being caught is embarrassing. The extent of it all. Here's what the documents showed. The NSA was collecting 5 billion cell phone location records per day worldwide, 200 billion text messages per day, millions of address books from email and messaging accounts, contact lists from social networks. They were storing this data in massive facilities like the Utah Data Center, a building so large it can store yottabytes of information. A yottabyte is 1 million billion billion bytes. To put that in perspective, all human speech ever spoken could fit in about 5 exabytes. A yottabyte is 1 million exabytes. They're not just collecting what's useful, they're collecting everything, just in case. The legal justification. How did they justify this? After September 11, 2001, everything changed. The terrorist attacks created fear. That fear created new laws. The Patriot Act, Section 215. It allowed the government to collect business records relevant to terrorism investigations. But here's the trick. They interpreted this very broadly. Phone records, business records. Internet history, business records. Your location, business records. A secret court called FISA approved these interpretations. Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court. This court operates in complete secrecy. No public hearings, no opposing lawyers, just government requests and judges approving them. Between 1979 and 2012, the FISA court approved 33,942 requests. It rejected only 11. That's a 99.97% approval rate. What this means for you. You might think, I'm not doing anything wrong. I don't care if they watch. But that's not the point. The point is, you don't know who's watching. You don't know how the data is used. You don't know if it's secure. In 2013, the NSA didn't even know how many documents Snowden took. Estimates range from 50,000 to 1.7 million files. If they can't protect their own secrets, how can they protect yours? Your data could be hacked by foreign governments, stolen by criminals, misused by bad actors within the government, used against you years later for something that's legal now but illegal later. Privacy isn't about hiding bad things. It's about protecting your freedom.
Part 3. The Escape and the Aftermath. June 9, 2013. The world now knew about PRISM. The journalists revealed their source. Edward Snowden recorded a video in his Hong Kong hotel room. In the video, he looked nervous but determined. He explained why he did it. I don't want to live in a society that does these sort of things. I do not want to live in a world where everything I do and say is recorded. Within hours, his name was everywhere. News channels, newspapers, social media. Some called him a hero. Others called him a traitor. The U.S. government called him a criminal. The charges. On June 21, 2013, the U.S. Department of Justice charged Snowden with theft of government property, unauthorized communication of national defense information, willful communication of classified intelligence to an unauthorized person. The last two charges fall under the Espionage Act. Maximum penalty? Death. Yes, death penalty for telling the truth. The chase. Snowden knew he couldn't stay in Hong Kong. China controlled Hong Kong. They could hand him over to the U.S. He booked a flight to Ecuador. Ecuador had offered him asylum, protection.
But to get to Ecuador from Hong Kong, he had to stop somewhere, Moscow, Russia. June 23, 2013, Snowden landed in Moscow's Sheremetyevo Airport. He never left. Stranded in the airport. The U.S. government canceled Snowden's passport while he was mid-flight. No passport means no travel. He was stuck in the airport's transit zone. For 39 days, Edward Snowden lived in the airport, sleeping on benches, eating airport food, waiting. Ecuador withdrew their asylum offer under U.S. pressure. Other countries refused to help, some because of U.S. pressure, some because their own planes couldn't get there safely. When Bolivian President Evo Morales flew home from Russia, European countries refused to let his plane cross their airspace. Why? Rumors that Snowden might be on board. They forced the president's plane to land in Austria. They searched it. Snowden wasn't there. That's how badly they wanted him. Russia grants asylum. Finally, on August 1, 2013, Russia granted Snowden temporary asylum. He could leave the airport, live in Russia, but he couldn't leave the country. This wasn't ideal. Russia isn't exactly known for freedom and privacy. The irony isn't lost on anyone. But it was better than a U.S. prison, or worse. Snowden has lived in Russia ever since, over 10 years now. In 2020, Russia granted him permanent residency. In 2022, Russia granted him full citizenship. Life in exile. Snowden lives quietly in Moscow. He married his longtime girlfriend, Lindsay Mills, in 2017. They have 2 children, boys, born in Russia, Russian citizens. Snowden works remotely. He speaks at conferences via video link. He's written a book called Permanent Record. He's become an advocate for privacy rights, encryption, digital freedom. But he wants to come home. He said this many times. He's offered to return to the U.S., but only if he can have a fair trial, a public trial, where he can explain why he did what he did. The U.S. government refuses. They say he must return unconditionally, face charges, no deals. So he stays in Russia. The U.S. response. How did the American government respond to the revelations? At first, they denied everything. Then they admitted some things. Then they defended it all. President Obama said the programs were legal, necessary, kept Americans safe. The NSA said they prevented terrorist attacks, saved lives. But when pressed for examples, they couldn't provide many convincing ones. An independent review found that the bulk phone records collection was not essential to preventing attacks. The reforms, sort of. In 2015, Congress passed the USA Freedom Act. It was supposed to end bulk collection of phone records. But here's the thing. It mostly just changed who stores the data. Before, NSA stored everything. After, phone companies store everything. NSA requests access when needed. Better? Maybe slightly, but the surveillance continues. The PRISM program still exists, under different names, with minor modifications. The NSA still collects billions of records per year. They just do it more carefully now, more legally, more secretly. What happened to the others? Glenn Greenwald left The Guardian, started his own media outlet called The Intercept, continues investigative journalism, lives in Brazil. Laura Poitras made an Oscar-winning documentary about Snowden called Citizen 4, continues making films. The Guardian won the Pulitzer Prize for Public Service in 2014 for the Snowden reporting. Tech companies started encrypting more data, adding security features, building systems even they can't decrypt. Apple famously refused to unlock an iPhone for the FBI in 2016. Public opinion? Split. Some Americans think Snowden is a hero. Others think he's a traitor. Polls show roughly 50-50.
Part 4. What this means today. It's been over 10 years since Snowden's revelations. Has anything really changed? Yes and no. What changed? 1. Public awareness. People now know about surveillance. They talk about it. think about it, care about it. Before Snowden, most people trusted their government completely. Now, not so much. 2. Technology response. Companies improved encryption. Messaging apps like Signal and WhatsApp use end-to-end encryption. This means even the company can't read your messages, only you and the recipient. 3. Legal challenges. Courts have ruled some NSA programs unconstitutional, though most continue under modified forms. 4. International impact. Other countries strengthened their data protection laws. Europe created GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation. This gives citizens more control over their data. What hasn't changed? 1. Mass surveillance continues. The programs still exist. They're just more secretive now, more careful. 2. The Five Eyes Alliance. US, UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. These countries share intelligence. If one country can't legally spy on its own citizens, another country does it and shares the data. Loophole. 3. New technologies. Facial recognition, AI, social media monitoring, location tracking through apps. Surveillance has expanded. It's easier than ever. 4. Private companies. The government isn't the only one watching. Google knows what you search. Facebook knows who you talk to. Amazon knows what you buy. Your phone knows where you go. They collect this data, analyze it, sell it to advertisers, and yes, sometimes give it to the government. What you can do. I know this is overwhelming. You might feel helpless, but you're not. Here are simple steps anyone can take. 1. Use encryption. Signal or WhatsApp for messaging, Proton Mail for email, VPN for internet browsing. 2. Control your data. Read privacy policies. I know, boring but important. Adjust privacy settings on social media. Limit app permissions on your phone. 3. Use strong passwords. Different password for every account. Use a password manager. Enable two-factor authentication. 4. Be aware. Think before you post online. Assume anything digital can be seen by others. Don't share sensitive information unnecessarily. 5. Support privacy rights. Vote for politicians who value privacy. Support organizations like EFF, Electronic Frontier Foundation. Speak up when you see overreach. The bigger question. Here's what keeps me up at night. We've traded privacy for convenience. Free email? You pay with your data. Free social media? You pay with your data. Free maps? You pay with your location data. If you're not paying for the product, you are the product. Is this worth it? Maybe sometimes, but we should choose consciously, not just accept it blindly. Edward Snowden gave up everything. His home, his career, his freedom, his country. He lives in exile, can't see his family easily, can't return to America without facing life in prison. Was it worth it? He thinks so. He said, "I'd do it again." Because now we know. We know we're being watched. We know how deep it goes. We know we need to fight for our privacy. Snowden didn't stop surveillance, but he started a conversation, a global conversation, about privacy, freedom, and power. That conversation continues today, with you. You now know the truth. The question is, what will you do with it? Will you protect your privacy? Will you speak up? Will you demand accountability? Or will you go back to scrolling knowing someone might be watching? The choice is yours. If this investigation opened your eyes, subscribe to English Through Truth. Hit the bell icon. We investigate stories that matter, stories they don't want you to know. Leave a comment. What do you think about Snowden? Hero or traitor? Should he be pardoned? Share this video. People need to know this story, the complete story. Remember, privacy is not about having something to hide. Privacy is about having something to protect, your freedom. Thank you for listening. Stay informed, stay private, stay free.